Welcome back to my channel. I'm JC, and today's video is Nano self-care moment number 2. Um, which I was hoping not to need, but for some reason, I'm really struggling this Nano, and you would know it by looking at my word count on the site because it says I'm sort of on track. I'm a little under, but not as under as I had initially thought I was. But I know me and myself and how I normally am during nanos, and I know you guys will all say, it's okay to not be performing the same. And logically, I know that it is, but I don't normally struggle this much with nano, and it's not necessarily getting the word counts. Well, no, that's part of it, but it's the struggle to. I'm struggling now with the desire. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. Focus. I'm struggling with the focus. It's like a lot of things going on in my life right now, personally, that are stressing me out. And so normally I'm able to tune things out better during nano and just hyper focus on nano and getting the words done and, enjoying the story. And I am enjoying my story. I'm just struggling with this particular nano this go around. So I'm having to need a few extra motivational things, self-care things than normal. And it's hard for me to film self-care moments like coloring in my coloring book. Yes, I do that. Or just me baking some sweet treat or something to make myself feel better, or having some ice cream, because none of that is really interesting to film. But I do also listen. The last time I did a list of movies, writing focused movies that I watch when I get stressed out, and I've been enjoying some of those, and I have really enjoyed some of the suggestions that you guys left in the comments of movies that I hadn't even put on my list, or either hadn't thought of or hadn't seen for myself. So thank you for those suggested movies that you left me. If you have more, go ahead and go to that video and leave some more movies that I may not have seen in the comments also, because I love movies with writers in them. But in today's list, it's more podcast focused, and I don't always get a lot of time to listen to podcasts, but I do try my best when I am feeling really not uninspired, but just struggling like I am now. So I have a list of podcasts. Most of them are writing focused, or centered around writing and the writing inspiration and that sort of thing. There are a couple that are true crime podcasts. If you know me, you shouldn't be surprised. But so podcast number 1 is from our very own Kate Kavanaugh, Making Money, Making Art. I love that podcast. Can't wait for the next season. It's very inspiring to hear other people actually supporting themselves from their art, which I hope to be able to actually successfully do one day. Successfully. Emphasis on successfully. The second podcast is This Great Life, also by a fellow AuthorTuber, my friend Tiffany Russell. It's a lifestyle podcast. It talks about a range of different topics, and it's great. If you've seen Tiffany, her personality is awesome and amazing, and her personality translates through the podcast as well. So it feels like you're having a conversation with someone, and it's just a really great podcast and fun to listen to. So, the third one is the Writish podcast by Zara Hoffman and Kelly Wright, also AuthorTubers. And it's everything writing-ish related, as you might assume by the title. The fourth one is the Authorpreneur podcast. I forgot who that's by. Give me a moment. Okay, so the Authorpreneur is by a podcast by Amelia D. And that's another one that you can find on all of these you can find on Spotify, by the way. The fifth one is the Creative Pen podcast by Joanna Penn. The sixth one is Writers on the Beat, a crime writers and crime fighters podcast. It leans towards true crime-ish stories and kind of how to best or write better crime scene fiction, crime-related fiction, that kind of thing. Number 7 is a podcast called Right Minded, and it's weekly inspiration for writers. I think their most recent one was this past Monday, so it's pretty up to date. Right Minded is made by Brooke Warner and Grant Faulkner. Brooke Warner, who is the creator of She Writes, and Grant Faulkner, who created National Novel Writing Month. So their podcast is Right Minded. The 8th one is Helping Writers Become Authors, the KM Wheeling podcast. The 8th one, I'm sorry, that was 8. The 9th one is called Small Town Murder. It by James Petrello and Jimmy Wisman. I'm hoping I'm not saying their names too wrong, but it's about a small town murder and them trying to solve it, and they kind of work through and try to solve basically. The number 10 it's a podcast called Serial, and it's a true crime podcast that started with a real case from Baltimore. You might have heard it. I can't remember his name, but the guy just got released. Well, his conviction was just overturned in Baltimore. But their podcast had a huge hand in that happening, because they were able to work through and uncover things that apparently the police didn't bother to, do the investigation of. So number 11 is called the Fantasy Writers Tool Shed. Number 12 is called Creative Pep Talk, and that is a podcast by Andy J. Pizza. And the last one, number 13, is called Historical Happy Hour by Jane Healy. It just talks about how to write good historical fiction, trying to be as accurate as possible, and gives different tips and tricks and stuff about writing accurately for historical fiction. There's other historical fiction podcasts out there, but some of them are a little older. I haven't listened to all of them, but you might want more up-to-date ones, so I don't mind listening to the older podcasts. But real quick, I'm going to scroll through my library so you can see I have other podcasts that I didn't mention on there, some more true crime related, and some other writing podcasts also. I'm just going to take a real quick scroll through real quick. So real quick, this is my Spotify. Hold on. Make this bigger. This is my Spotify library. I have lots of different other podcasts: Female Criminals, Crime Junkie, some motivational podcasts as well. Just a different eclectic collection of podcasts. But I just wanted you to see that I do have more than the 13 that I listed, but I wanted to just focus on more writing-centric podcasts for you guys. So, those are some of the podcasts that I listen to that kind of get me back into the writing vibe and feeling inspired, and maybe make me a little more focused, and um, make me feel like I'm not struggling quite as much. Or they get me in a mood that takes my mind off of the fact that I'm struggling with this nano. Not the project itself, just nano in general. I know you probably think, well, just stop doing nano, but if you know me, then you know that's not possible for me to do. But yeah, hopefully some of these podcasts are ones that you would enjoy or like to listen to. If you have any suggestions of other podcasts like you did with the movies, drop them in the comments below, because I'm always looking for new podcasts to listen to and get inspired by. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you like this video and you want to see more videos from me, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button. I post videos on Mondays and Thursdays. I live stream on Wednesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would like to be supportive in any of my creative endeavors, such as my blog site, my online magazine, my online store, or my Ko-fi page, all of those links can be found in the description box below. I hope your nano is going well. I hope that you are remembering to take care of yourself and to have grace with yourself. Um, until next time, have a blessed day. Bye.